The following is a special presentation of Evening Magazine.
She was commissioned October 23, 1988, and set off from Baltimore for ports of call along the Chesapeake Bay and beyond. Her name, the Pride of Baltimore II. Her mission, to carry a message of health and vitality about the state of Maryland and her people, and to extend an invitation to visit and know us better.
Bring it there.
Okay, that's tall and secure.
The story of the Pride of Baltimore II cannot be separated from the Pride of Baltimore, for their missions were the same. And the Pride accomplished so much. Traveling almost 150,000 miles as a Goodwill ambassador, she became our symbol, both in Maryland and around the world. But in the spring of 1986, the force of nature dealt our Pride a crushing blow. She was lost at sea along with her captain and 3 crew members, and many of those closest to the Pride felt that her mission was over. But when the surviving crew returned home, it became clear the people wanted the Pride to live on. In no time, money was raised and construction began on a new boat in the inner harbor. Ordinary working folks, many of whom would never see the wet side of the high seas, reached out a wave of support that virtually swept the Pride into reality. In less than a year, the Pride of Baltimore II was launched. And 6 months later, the Pride was commissioned, once again giving our sails a chance to catch the wind.
Captain Miles, you may take your ship. Sail her wise and truly. Sail her in the memory of all seamen who have left these shores.
Something to make you sit up and take notice. It's going to go around the world soon, and it's not a fighting ship, and it's something to show friends of the state of Maryland.
It just gives us a feeling of community, those of us that are interested in Baltimore and the water. We just all kind of feel a part of it.
All my life I've liked water. I like to be around ships, and that's why I'm here today, because I enjoy it. This is part of Maryland.
The Pride of Baltimore is a part of Maryland. What began as a simple marketing tool for the city has grown to become so much more. A symbol of the state, of the entire Chesapeake Bay. A true vessel of the people. When we return, we'll travel to Puerto Rico and climb aboard for 24 hours on the Pride.
I'm an impatient instructor, and I wish they could learn faster, but I don't see how they could learn any faster because they're not different than any other crew I've ever had on any other boat for that matter.
By the middle of January, the Pride of Baltimore II was almost 3 months into her maiden voyage. Captain Jan Miles and his crew of 7 men and 4 women are a seasoned group, but the boat is new, and that makes each day a learning experience. For Captain Miles, that's just part of the process.
It's not exactly complete yet. There's the moving in procedure, just like a brand new house. It takes a while to get settled in. And all the time, I'm more and more impressed with what's been done. And there's certainly a distinct privilege of having participated in the planning. And to be participating now and helping follow the road that I believe we need to follow to reach the goals that we're reaching for.
By January 19th, the crew had traveled 4,123 miles, beginning on the Chesapeake and traveling to Bermuda, the Gulf of Mexico, and Florida, before taking on the challenge of a 7.5-day trip on the open seas to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Tonight, under a full moon docked opposite the cruise ship Jubilee, they are carrying out the festive part of their mission, offering the boat as a platform for a party hosted by the Maryland Port Authority, encouraging commerce with Puerto Rico.
What's the real use of the ship? What do you use it for?
Well, the
training?
statement of the... No, it's not an educational vessel. It's used as an ambassador ship for the state of Maryland.
The talk here is of industry and trade, but the business of the Pride is the subject of constant curiosity.
We are a long route.
Bermuda, Galveston, Texas, Houston, New Orleans, Mobile.
On the morning of January 20th, we climbed aboard for the next leg of the Pride's maiden voyage. Leaving San Juan Harbor past historic Fort El Morro, the Pride is history come to life, and even an impartial observer would call her an impressive sight.
So when it happens, it's glorious. And how you write about it or speak about it, I don't know. But when we're pretty, and when I know we're pretty, we're the prettiest thing there ever was.
Our destination today is Ponce. About 500 years ago, Columbus traveled this very route in search of water on the western shore of the island. The crew will use this trip to continue their search for ways to make the Pride run smoothly.
Okay, when you can, hands to the braces.
Just putting on some chafe gear to keep this from rubbing against the shroud. Because by morning it won't be there. I'll do something about it now, so. Another good one. 1, 2, 3. 40.
You really learn a lot sailing on a boat like this because there's so much more to it. I've sailed on about 7 other schooners, and none of them are as hard to sail as a boat like this.
Okay, let's stand by to strike the topsail.
Casey knows that sailing wooden ships is not a growth industry, but each member has their own reason for sailing the Pride.
I'm from Baltimore, and I'm glad to be part of something that sort of represents the community in a positive way.
To sail on something that I helped build, even the small part that I did play in the building of the boat, is very, very special. I saw the old Pride, but never got a chance to sail on her. Actually never boarded her. And when I found out that I had a chance to work on this, it just meant so much to me.
When there's any emergencies, I'm designated to take the helm. Possibly because I am the smallest person, I'm not sure. That could be it. It could be maybe he likes the way I steer.
Hey Chris, you want the main sheets hanging, correct?
That's right. Have them even too. Overhaul the main sheet.
Right.
It's a mixed crew on board. Some of them might say mixed up. But the point is, men and women work this boat together. And a quick look below deck suggests that privacy is at a premium. But even that has a way of working itself out.
It's nice to have the guys around too, but just the same, it also evens out the temperament on the boat. A lot of guys living together as slubs, a lot of girls living together as slubs. When you get guys and girls living together, it tends to even it out. It's nicer.
The crew is professional. They're not students or researchers, but it is not just a job. They're developing routines for a new boat, establishing new traditions, and developing friendships along the way. When we return, the danger and beauty of midnight sailing.
I love it. I love these hours. I love the middle of the night being out here. You know, sort of the only person out here, only people out here sailing. It's a great feeling. I don't know.
It is almost 2 a.m. Already the party in San Juan seems like a dozen yesterdays ago. There's a kind of gentle quiet on the Pride, yet the challenge of the sea is constant, and the watch vigilant.
My dream is always to sail on one of these schooners. It's sort of in the family. My sister sailed in the first Pride, so it's pretty exciting to follow her footsteps. And
wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's really neat. My brother's on another schooner, so it's in the family. It's in the blood. If my dad had his way, he'd be out here sailing too.
There are always 3 watches, one on, one off, and one on standby. The person who sleeps least on board is the captain. It is his job to drive the crew. It is their job to sail the boat. And when the course changes, that means midnight tacking.
Starboard, main top, running back, stay forward, port, main top, back. Let's split it up, folks.
Make fast to starboard. And haul your slack to port. Make fast.
Speak to me, somebody. Rob, Rob, are you ready? You've got control. So you take control. They cannot haul it in unless you let it out. Take control.
Night sailing is essential to the Pride schedule, but it is often dangerous and seldom routine.
Running back, stay aft.
Communicates with the crew good. It's kind of hard on everybody, but I think the only reason he does it is because he wants us all to learn. He wants to teach us all. That's his way of doing it. We accept it.
As sunrise approaches, our course is charted for the approach to Ponce. The sailing is smooth and provides a natural time for reflection.
And it's very much you at odds against the powers that be, the powers of nature, which, you know, are unconquerable, but you just have to learn to deal with it. And I think that working and being as close to nature as I am, I think is one of the greatest rewards that there really is. You know, being in the fresh air, being in the sunshine, getting rained on when it rains, getting dunked in the salt water when you get dunked, you know. Getting dunked or getting smashed around isn't always the greatest thing to do, but it's all part of it. It makes a living worth living.
Yeah, it's pretty hot here. Bet you it's cold back north.
By mid-morning, Ponce is in sight. Intense preparation precedes arrival in any port. Under Captain Miles, open house begins at sea.
How come when I say stow the boat, I gotta follow it up myself? How come?
That's what I like about Giannis. He won't dock the boat until the boat's totally cleaned up, and everybody will be waiting on the dock for us, and he'll stand off the dock for 45 minutes, and everybody's waiting, and just until we get the boat ship shape. Then once the boat's ship shape, we go in there, and then it's great.
You're the key man, Bill. You gotta keep us moving.
When the Pride is shipshape, she is presented to the dignitaries of Ponce. The welcome is warm, and the local media enthusiastic.
The people, the crew, where are they from?
The current crew on board, half of them are from Maryland, and the other half are scattered from out the state, several of them from the New England area.
Still, there is work to be done. Every sailor's preference is to sail, but a wooden boat has special needs in salt water, and maintenance is essential.
This is it, man. This is it. This is what it all boils down to. This is why we're here. Swabbing the decks. You all thought that was part of sailor's lore, but this is it. This is really the romantic truth of working aboard a tall ship.
You'd expect a sailor to be short on words and long on action. But sharing the history of the Baltimore Clipper is part of the job description, and this crew rises to the occasion with style.
We go, southeast this far. So, you can turn the boat southeast, because these directions never change. You could turn the whole boat, but this compass will stay the same. So it's like, it's sort of the center thing that doesn't ever move.
High school.
High school, okay.
24 hours continues as the Pride races to the future.
I never sailed on the old boat, but that's for the old boat's mission. I think this thing picked up right where she left off, and it's doing the same thing.
Today, the Pride is heading north. She'll be home in Baltimore by the 1st of spring, setting sail for a tour of the Great Lakes this summer. And the future? Who knows? Perhaps a trip around the world. The pay's not great, but she'll always have a crew.
I think the history, the color of it, make it interesting to people. It's part of what Baltimore is about, the old maritime heritage. The Pride, and all of us are working to keep that alive.
Why should a general public want another boat after losing one? I don't think you can compare it to death in the family, but it's a pretty strong death, nevertheless. I guess it comes back to self-esteem. There's something that is being transmitted back home when they see in the papers and they hear in the news that their Pride of Baltimore is here or there doing this or that, and that where they are is very impressed with the fact that Maryland and Baltimore has this unique ambassador.
An ambassador? Yes. But you don't often love a bureaucrat. So why is it that we care so much about this sailing ship? Because she is the better part of us all. We worker citizens align ourselves with and aspire to the excellence that was achieved with the construction of the original Baltimore Clippers. It was a moment of perfection fully realized in our history and nobly recreated by the crew of the Pride. It is an excellence that we honor and daily aspire to throughout the state. That, more than anything, is why she sails today, and why, wherever she goes, we all take part in the Pride of Baltimore.
Travel arranged through Eastern. Some like it hot. And this winter, Eastern has the hottest fares to the hottest destinations. Eastern to the Caribbean. It's the hottest ticket out of town.